Hello, my name's Donna Coxon. I'm a Senior Solution Architect with A&S, and today I'm going to show you Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. The motivation for every company's move to digital transformation is really to improve customer experience. So for a company to be successful and competitive in the market today, it's really important that they can build meaningful relationships with their customers. So being able to personalize a customer's experience with you means companies need to have a complete view of all of their customer data. And that's what Microsoft Dynamics 365 Customer Insights does. It's a tool that helps organizations get that complete 360-degree view of a customer by connecting customer data from lots of different data sources. It then enables you to segment that data and apply insights to help you drive personalized, customer-focused experiences. So Dynamics 365 Customer Insights is a pre-packaged tool that enables you to pull all of your data into one location. It's a way of consolidating all of that customer data into one profile, and then a way of using that consolidated data to better understand your customer. So something we get asked a lot is, how is Dynamics 365 Customer Insights different to Power BI? Customer Insights uses AI, so effectively it uses sophisticated algorithms to help match customer records from different systems where those customer records don't necessarily have IDs or customer keys in common. Also, it pulls all of your customer data into the common data service. So data that you put into the common data service gets mapped into entities, and this then allows you to normalize your data and then reuse it in other applications. Once you've unified your data, you can then use the Customer Insights UI to create measures and KPIs. But in addition to that, you can then extend that functionality by also incorporating custom machine learning models from Azure Machine Learning Studio. Customer Insights includes segmentation capability. So you can create static and dynamic segments that help you create targeted groups of customers. So Customer Insights also includes some pre-built Dynamics 365 controls, so you can add your customer cards and your customer measures to your contact forms within your Dynamics applications. And then finally, it's very quick time to value because it's a pre-built package solution focused on your customer. It has an easy to use user interface. You don't have to be a data expert to be able to use it. So you can very quickly ingest your data, map, merge your data, and create your common customer profile that you can then start to use in segmentation. So let's take a look at the Customer Insights solution itself. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we have our navigation bar where we can navigate between the different areas. On our home page, we can see immediately some insights. So effectively, these are KPIs or business measures that we've created to give us some insights into our customer data. So for example, here we can see the average web purchase value versus the average store purchase value. It also shows us some segments, so I can see that I've got 2,130 high value online customers, and also in my summer promo campaign there are 770 members. So these segments enable us to group our customers based on demographic, transactional or behavioural attributes. And we can use segmentation to target promotional campaigns, sales activities, customer service actions to help achieve specific business goals. So let's take a look at our unified customer profiles. So over on the left-hand side, if I navigate to customers, I can now see all of my unified customer profiles. And you can very quickly search for a customer. So in this single customer profile, I'm seeing data that is being pulled from lots of different data sources, but it's all being consolidated into this one page. So I can see demographic data, I can see timeline data, I can see any measures that we've created. And for customers in some regions, you can see enrichment data as well from Microsoft Graph. So just to make it clear, the customer transactions are not happening within Customer Insights solution itself. They're still happening in their source systems, But what is happening is that data is being sent into Customer Insights, and Customer Insights has applied AI to match that customer data into a common customer profile. So the way that we do that is we have to set up the data. When we first set up Customer Insights, we have to ingest our data and we have to map it. And that's done over here on the left. So if we go to the data area, what we're able to do is we're able to add data sources. So here you can see the different data sources that I'm using in my demo environment and the number of entities within each data source. If you want to add a new data source, you can do that at the top here. You can give your data source a name, and then you can choose a connector to connect to your data source. These connectors are constantly being added to, so if you don't see one at the moment, it will probably be added in the future. For the time being, if there's a connector that you need that isn't there, you can export your data to CSV and import as a CSV file. So to connect to your data source, you simply create your connection and point it to your data, and it will then create that data source. So once you connect to your data source, you will be able to make some changes to your data directly here by changing data types, by using the first row as headers, and you can also save your query. Once you've brought in your data, you can then use your entities to see how complete that data is. An entity is effectively just a data set, and most of the processes in Customer Insights are organized around these data sets. So for example, if we go and look at our e-commerce contacts, we can see all of the data that's currently held within that entity. We can see when that data set was created and when it was last edited. And also I can go in and see all of the fields within that entity. And I can see the different attribute information about that field here. Once you've created your data sources and ingested all of your data into your entities, you're then ready to unlock the unique data unification features that Customer Insights includes. And that's done in the Unify area. So the data unification process within Customer Insights includes 3 different steps: map, match, and merge. The map stage is the first stage in the process, and really the goal of this stage is to identify which entities can be combined and to select the attributes within those entities that you want to combine. So looking at the e-commerce contacts here, I can see all of the different attributes or fields that we're including within that entity. Over here, I can select additional fields. So this is where I can choose which attributes we're going to include from that entity. And you'll also notice that it's at this point that I can choose which of those attributes is my primary key. Similarly, if we look at loyalty customers, I can see all of the fields that we've chosen within that entity, and I can see that we're using loyalty ID as our primary key for that entity. So once we've chosen our field attributes and our primary keys within each of our entities, we can move on to the match stage. So this is where we're able to specify how we combine the entities, and also where we can learn how to evaluate in depth the quality of our match pairs and how to improve them. So within the match screen, as soon as we come in here, we can get some insights into how many unique customers we've matched and also how many records we've matched. Further down, we can see the matching order. When we click on edit, we can start to see how we do our data ranking. If we look at the loyalty scheme here and open that up, we can see our matching rules. So here I can see that I am matching the full name from e-commerce contacts with the full name from loyalty customers. And I can also see the precision level. So we're using a low precision level of matching here. But we then have a secondary condition as well, which is also matching the email address from both of those entities. And that's on a high level of precision. And here I can actually see a match preview of the matches. And here I can see a system score, so how accurate are these match pairs. Once we've matched our records, we can then move into the merge process. So the objective of the merge process is really around reconciling conflicting data. So for example, if you've got a customer name that exists in 2 different data sets and it's been entered slightly differently in each, or if you've got a phone number that's in a slightly different format. This is where you can now go and merge those different data points on an attribute by attribute basis. So you'll see here, this is where you can literally go through and combine fields into a single field and specify which of those fields is the highest priority. And that's it. We can then save our changes and we can run the unification process. Once we've done that, that will generate our customer profile cards, which we saw earlier, that will show us in one consolidated view all of the data from the different systems. What we haven't done yet is created any measures or any segments. So over on the left-hand side, we can now go and use segments to segment our data. Segmenting the data is really just grouping our data based on demographic, transactional, or behavioral attributes. So you might want to create a segment to identify your high-value online customers. You might want to create a segment to identify people who've purchased a certain product or a service. So a segment is effectively a query that you can save to return a set of matching customers. Segments can be dynamic or static. A static segment is processed once and it's used where the properties are not expected to change over time. A dynamic segment is processed on a recurring schedule, and these are useful where the attributes are changing. So in our summer promo segment, we're effectively looking for people within a certain age range who've spent a certain amount in our stores. So we're looking at anyone whose average store purchase is greater than or equal to 113, and also people whose date of birth falls between these two different date ranges. At any point, we can view the information returned within our segment. So here I can see in my summer promo, it includes 770 members, and I can also see the activity within any given date period that I want to look at. And then I've got a preview at the bottom of all the members within that segment. So we've created some segments. We can then move on to create some measures. So a measure effectively represents a key performance indicator. So it's something that we want to use to reflect the performance and the health of specific business areas. There are different types of measures that you can create. So you can create a customer attribute. So this is just a single field that shows in your customer profile. You can create a customer measure. These provide insights on customer behavior with a breakdown by selected dimensions. You can create business measures which track your business performance and the health of the business. So these are some measures that I've created. So this one is looking at point of sale purchases, and it's looking for the average total price. So the average store purchase value. I've also got another business measure which is showing me the average web purchase value. And then I've got a customer attribute measure which is looking at lifetime spend. So this is looking at the sum of given field to give me the lifetime spend. And that's it. So what we've done is we've ingested our data, we've identified our entities and our attributes, we've unified our data, we've done the map, match, merge process, we've created some segments so that we can target some different groups, and we've created some measures to track some KPIs. So in our customer profile card now, we can see the data coming in from different data sources, but we can also see our measures and our segments. Now, the great thing about this is that this data can now be made available to different applications. So this data is sitting on the Power Platform through Customer Insights, but you can now use this in different scenarios. So if you are using a Dynamics 365 business application like sales or customer service, you can actually now embed this into your contact forms. Okay, so here I am in my Dynamics 365 app. I've got a list of my active contacts. If I select one of these contacts, I've now got a customer insights area within my contact form, and I can see the timeline information, I can see my measures, and I can see my demographic detail and any segments that that customer belongs to. So I can surface that data through Dynamics 365. But because the data now exists in my common data service on the Power Platform, I can also make that data available to Power BI. So now if we switch over to Power BI, you can see that I now have a customer insights workspace. So here I can see all of my customer profiles. When I select a customer profile, it updates the information directly within Power BI, and I can see data that is being pulled from those different data sources. I can see my measures, I can see my data enrichment, and I can see my timeline. If you take that one step further, you can then create your own Canvas apps using that data as well. So here's another example. So here is a Power App that's been created based on those singular customer profiles. So what I can do is search for a customer, and I can view their profile directly on my app. I can see their recent activity. I can see business measures, what their average purchase is. I can now start to see some recommendations. I can see they're a high value customer, and I've also got the ability to do a customer check-in on my app. So as someone comes into my store, I can have a chat with them and say whether I recommended the mobile app to them and whether I recommended the latest coffee maker. So I can now start to track how many times they come into the store, what recommendations we've made to them. So that was a quick overview of the Dynamics 365 Customer Insights solution. Hope you found it useful. Thank you for watching. If you would like any help with Customer Insights or Dynamics 365, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. ANS would be delighted to help you. Thank you.